Here's a surprise. I know I yelled at you. I was screaming at you for the past half hour or so. I was screaming at you. I was yelling at you and everything. Talking about human depravity, talking about highly existential shit, talking about highly initiatic shit there. But look, let's just calm the fuck down, all right? Get comfortable, okay? I don't want to end this on a bad note. Not at all. I don't want to end this in bad faith. I want to end this with a laugh because the dark motherfuckers, the evil, fucking parasitic, hive mind, archon shit, they hate humor. Have you noticed that you're not allowed to laugh at or mock a certain class? You're not allowed to make fun of or laugh at a certain protected class? If you want to know who rules over you, figure out who you're not allowed to criticize. Voltaire. There's certain protected privileged groups that you're not allowed to make jokes about. You're not allowed to laugh at. You're not allowed to poke fun at. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want this YouTube video to get deleted. I don't want it to get taken down. But that's a good place to look. Let's have some fun. Let's have a good laugh. I was too serious. I was all seriousness and no fun, no humor for the past hour. Let's have some fun. Okay, this is a treat for you. We're at mightandmagick.com/Wicca/. This is not my video, and disclaimer, I am not Machete. I'm a fan of his work. I am not endorsed by Machete. I am not endorsed or condoned by Mark Smith. I am not endorsed or condoned by Seth Gizboza. I am not endorsed or condoned by Curtis Joseph. I am not endorsed or condoned by anyone. I am just a crazy Cody with his own fucking opinions and feelings and observations about certain shit. And I share with y'all what I feel is of value and what I feel is worth sharing. So, the name of this article that I'll be reading to you is entitled Wicca, Black Oak Coven, Initiation of a High Priest. Black Oak Coven, the initiation of a Wiccan high priest, once and future king. From today on, the earth is your throne, and from it, all you see is your kingdom. The only question is, what kind of king will you choose to be? By Coven Wiccan. I do not own any of these words. This is all copyright Coven Wiccan / Papa Machete. Those of you who know who he is, have been around long enough, who as old as I am, you may remember him as Uncle Bearheart. He was the first YouTuber to speak out against pedophilia, to speak out against the control grid and the deep state and the deep pedophile swamp. And he was the first to get deplatformed and first to get censored before getting deplatformed was cool. So just about everything in this half of the video is Coven Wiccan's dialogues. When I add my own reactions and commentary, I will put a break in the reading. I will say, I'm going to add my own thoughts, concerns, then going to continue on. So I will let you know what is Kevin's words and what is my own. I will let you know. And Kevin, if you end up finding this video, if you end up seeing this video in any way, shape, or form, and you are unhappy with it and you want me to remove it for any reason, I will remove upon request. You just leave a comment or send me a private message or send me a Gmail or a text or whatever the fuck there that you want taken down, and it's down. I'm trying to give you more traffic. I'm trying to drive more potential wolves and lions to your Shed of Rebellion Patreon. I'm trying to awaken the sleeping wolves and dragons and send more warriors to your Shed of Rebellion. I'm trying to help you here and get you more exposure. But let's read the actual article. Wicca, Black Oak Coven, Initiation of a High Priest by Coven Wiccan. 2/8/24, contextual content. The following occurred in 2003 High in the San Bernardino Mountains of California. I first published my experience in 2013 on an older blog. It did not appear on Might Magick until 2019. But it wasn't until 2024 that I discovered, to my absolute delight, the long-term angst and vitriol my initiation experience caused amongst a few very lonely interwebbers who apparently needed to double up their anti-anxiety meds and schedule an appointment with their mental health provider after reading it. Let me help aid in the contextual understanding. In 2003, our society was still culturally anchored in the expectations of the 1990s and Generation X, my generation. And back then, it was still not okay to be a degenerate crybaby weakling. That sad, shriveled trait was seized upon by the millennials and passed down like an evil genetic curse to their soft, screen-glued, emotionally unstable offspring known as Gen Z. In 2003, the Southern California Wiccan Coven still had strong masculine core, many coming down through the lineage of Janet and Stuart Farrar, often mixed with a clearly Asatru before it got overrun by neo-Nazi LARPing degenerates. Like you, motherfuckers, Atomic Waffle Division. Fuck you. Fuck you, Gregory Lang, and fuck your followers. Continuing on. The radical feminist psychosis of the Marxist communist hags like Z Budapest and Starhawk, templates that Luluin uses as the AI-generated soy base for the commercial Coven-in-a-Box kits, was still mostly isolated to San Francisco, and Berkeley, a localized tumor of ideological rot. Fast forward to 2024, and Wicca has become little more than a cosplay cult of pale, emasculated men and beefy, blue-haired banshees who perform the awkward worship of a god and goddess they simultaneously deny exist because their fragile identities and political affiliations demand adherence to an ever-mutating clusterfuck of identity politics. These folks now, quote-unquote, venerate the divine while spouting schizophrenic dogma about infinite number of genders, critical race theory, and the disturbing normalization of drag queen story hours for dollars. All while championing women's rights without being able to define what a woman even is. And yes, the same delusional clowns will look you in the eye and insist that men can get pregnant. I gotta stop here. This is fire, dude. This is absolute fucking fire. A wicked fucking opening here. This is absolute fucking fire. Man, I'm Wiccan. I worship the god and the goddess, but there are infinite number of genders. Can you define what is a goddess? You know, the goddess. What is a goddess? What is a woman? I don't know, the goddess. Oh, okay. What kind of Wicca are you? Are you a Gerald Gardnerian, or are you an Atlantean Wiccan? What are you talking about? Can you tell me what a grimoire is? Have you heard of a grimoire? What is a grimoire? A grammar? You mean like English spelling? What's a grammar? No, not a grammar, a grimoire. Can you tell me what a grimoire is? Have you heard of Grimorium Verum? Have you heard of the Ars Goetia? Is that owl-looking dude from Hell of a Boss? By the way, I love Hell of a Boss. I'm not shitting on Vizzy Pop. I love Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss, but just roll with me here. This is too funny. Is it that owl-looking dude from Hell of a Boss? Oh my fucking god. This conversation's over. I can't talk to you. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as Alexandrian Wicca. What are you talking about? You never heard of a grimoire. You can't tell me the difference between Gardnerian and Alexandrian Wicca. There is nothing to talk about. And they just give you the fucking deer in the headlights there. And these are the same fucking people that tell you that men can be fucking pregnant. All right, we're continuing with the actual article. Let me be very clear. If you're unable or unwilling to define what a woman is, how in the fuck can you venerate and celebrate a goddess? Neoliberalism is a dumpster fire of ideological madness. Neoliberals are the arsonists gleefully hurling gasoline on the blaze, desperately proving themselves to be the apex of human detritus, fit only for their own burning, stinking shoal of moral refuse and intellectual rot. And that, my friends, is a big fucking problem. Back in 2003, pagan communities I knew have taken a look at the Christianized government mandate for cloth muzzle mask mandates and burn those dollar store face diapers and Beltane bonfires with roaring laughter. But by 2020, most of the so-called pagan community had degenerated into sniveling, neurotic sheep, proudly displaying their face coverings and social distancing stickers like gold stars awarded by Big Brother. Oh my god. And look at my gold star. I have my gold star strapped to my face. Sing Heil the Fuhrer. I got my gold star. Hey, you got your gold star strapped to your face. Are you wearing your face star? Are you wearing your golden star strapped to your face? What? What once stood in defiance of imposed patriarchal hierarchy now bent the knee and begged for a boot up the ass to both lick and take up their ass. Their ancestrals, if still watching in horror, have probably turned away in utter disgust. But not all of us bowed. Some of us stand firm. Some of us strengthen our bloodlines and sharpen our blades. Some of us still look in the mirror and know that we are made of our ancestors, and we made our ancestors proud. My ancestors are smiling at me. Can you say the same, you spineless communist cucks? And here's a meme there. There's some Karen or Sharon with her golden blue star, her face diaper strapped on, getting the needlecraft there, and the top caption says, "I listen to the wisdom of my ancestors." And at the bottom slide we have like Marvel Thor. Do you though? Kevin Wicks 2024. Now imagine just for a second the cognitive and spiritual crisis that my initiation might trigger in these same people who can't determine their own gender, who spiral into PTSD if their phone battery hits 5%. Imagine how violently allergic they are to the idea that a man, an unapologetically cisgender alpha male, might have to suffer, might have to bleed or fight tooth and nail in a sacred trial to earn something of lasting metaphysical value. The initiation must be earned and not liked on Facebook, not subscribed to, and sure as in hell not fucking paid for with a TikTok subscription account. To be set apart, it takes an initiation like mine. It is no secret that I am one of the most accurate and deadly remote viewers operating today. You want proof? Read my occult destruction of Jeffrey Epstein here. Wicked fucking fire. If you still haven't fucking watched Machete's Conjuration of Duke of Graries, you fucking have to. Pause this video right now. Type into the YouTube search bar Machete, Who Wins All Battles, Conjuration of Duke of Graries, and watch that motherfucking shit. That is pure fucking fire. It's pure fire. After you finish watching that video, all three of them, because there's three the videos, there's the Conjuration Duke of Graries and Epstein Dead Victory. After you watch both those, then unpause this video. Continuing with the actual article, my work strikes at the throat of global power structures and ripples through metaphysical currents with lethal clarity. I expect nothing less from a third-degree high priest of Wicca, and neither should you. If you do, we clearly have radically different definitions of what that title means, and I invite you to reconsider yours before you embarrass yourself any further. And here's another uncomfortable truth. My initiation wasn't even the only one like it at the time. There was an Asatru kindred in the same mountain range who reenacted Odin hanging on Yggdrasil, spear, wound, noose, and all. You heard that right. I could tell you more. I could name other groups, other rites, but I won't. Not because I'm protecting secrets, but because I don't want to be solely responsible for their next mental breakdown or for their pharmacist adjusting their Xanax dosage after reading about it. I lived it. You cried about it. That's the fucking difference. Holy shit. All right, continue on. My original 2013 posting of initiation of a Wiccan high priest. On the third day of my initiation, I awoke with a start. The earth trembled beneath me, and I heard someone scream my name. Likely a dream, but I will always wonder. The sun was just crawling over the San Bernardino Mountains, bleeding fire into the valley. I began preparing myself for the day's uncertainties. Apologies for the interruption there. The sun was just crawling over the San Bernardino Mountains, bleeding fire into the valley. I began preparing myself for the day's uncertainties. Looking up, I saw my mentor's sword still dangling above me, swaying to and fro the morning breeze. It hung from a fragile braiding of just 3 threads. Red, black, and white, tied to a branch of gnarled black oak. If the sword were to fall during my initiation, it would signify divine displeasure. Augury would be needed to decipher the cause and what appeasements might set it right. There's actually a Hammer film about that called Eye of the Devil. Eye of the Devil with Sharon Tate, and it demonstrates a Wiccan initiation where you have to lay on a stone slab and you have a sword dangling from a chandelier, and if the sword drops and impales you and kills you, it means that the horn god, it means that the king of all witches rejects you. It means that Kurunos, Pan, Shiva, Baphomet, Beliar, it means that the horn god rejects you. But if the sword doesn't fall, and this sword is hanging by a tiny fucking thread, hanging by a thread cord. This sword is hanging by a tiny fucking thread, like the sword wants to fall off any minute. If the sword doesn't fall and you live, then it means that you're accepted into the witch cult. But continuing on. Very good fucking movie. I love Hammer films. I love that movie. Eye of the Devil, starring Sharon Tate. A movie about a Wiccan cult living in a European castle. A Wiccan cult in the castle long before that fucking rapist groomer Gerald Gardner fucked that all up with his fucking fluffy bunny threefold law return bullshit. By the way, the only reason why Gerald Gardner was against black magic and didn't want his cult members to follow to dabble in Goetia or demons or spiritism is because fucking Gardner hoarded that all to himself. Yeah, Gardner was a black magician. Gardner fucked with the Goetia. He probably fucked with the Grimorium Verum too, but he kept it all to him fucking self there. Gerald Gardner, I'll tell you what Gerald Gardner is. Gerald fucking Gardner is one of them fucking soy boy pedophile fucking dojo masters. He's one of those pedophile fucking martial arts instructors who pretends to teach your kid karate but refuses to teach kill moves, refuses to teach moves that could kill just so he could victimize his own fucking students. That was Gerald Gardner. Gerald fucking Gardner was a fucking pedophile and a rapey groomer. And if this were modern times, he'd be one of those fake karate dojo masters who pretends to teach your kid martial arts, but is actually teaching them kickboxing, but completely withholds all the killing moves and will not teach killing moves just so he can victimize your son and daughter. That was Gerald fucking Gardner. Fuck him. May he roast in Lucifer's flames. Fuck Gerald Gardner. Continuing with the article. Looking up, I saw my mentor's sword still dangling above me, swaying to and from the morning breeze. It hung from a fragile braiding of just 3 threads, wet, black, and light, tied to a branch of gnarled black oak. If the sword were to fall during my initiation, it would signify divine displeasure. Augury would be needed to decipher the cause, and what appeasements might set it right. The fire had dwindled to embers. My body was numb from the cold, which helped dull the swelling and staved off the pain. Only slightly. I searched the branches for remnants of rope or rub marks. My mentor told me this black oak was once a hanging tree, for which a notorious outlaw was buried among its roots. A legend from the gold rush. True or not, the tree's ominous presence lent its weight to the tale. Just sitting up required concentrated effort. My hands and feet stung as blood began thawing my frozen extremities. I rubbed the warmth back into my thighs, and with stiff, wobbly legs I stood. I hobbled to the fire, coaxing it back to life. A few breaths and small tendrils of flame re-emerged from the glowing char. I scavenged fallen twigs and branches to feed it. I dared not snap anything off the tree. The black oak housed a dryad, a conduit for the goddess. The fire belonged to the horned god. It was his channel to my initiation. They would decide if I would shiver or find comfort, sit in light or persist in darkness. I'm convinced I heard both tree and flame speak to me more than once during those 9 long days. My camp was enclosed within the circle of stones, each blessed by my mentor and each housing a spirit. I could not leave unless he opened the path. Through the initiation, I saw visions, mountain lions, bears, stalking me from beyond the circle's edge. On the final night, a stampede of horses charged toward me, all of them phantoms. They dissipated like mist the moment they crossed the barrier. Fae crafted illusions meant to test me. If I fled the circle, then I'd be fair game. If caught, I might never return. Each morning I made blood offerings with a razor blade, no more than the few drops on the tree's roots and into the fire, a gesture of gratitude. While frowned upon in mainstream fake Wicca, in my inherited tradition, such offerings are rare but essential. Afterwards, I recited incantations to the ancient ones, protean beings, often deformed or incomplete, as well as to the ancestors, the dead, to the fae, and other natured spirits for aid and favor. I wore only khaki shorts and a tank top. My cloak doubled as a windbreaker and a blanket. I was allowed a mouth guard for ritual combat. I was exposed, filthy, sunburnt, covered in dust, bruises, and blood. Nestled at the roots of the black oak was a lockbox. Inside was an envelope containing several thousand in cash. My mentor told me it was entrusted by other members of my coven, for rent, medical bills, and car payments. If that box were to be taken, my coven mates would suffer. I swore to defend it with my life. Even after the trial ended, I found myself glancing at it often, exhaling relief each time it remained. My mentor had recruited individuals to try and steal it. I had to prove that I can embody a bull, a stag, physically and spiritually. A high priest wearing the horn crown must defend his herd, his coven, in all ways. From sunrise to noon, 4 men attempted to take that lockbox. The rules were very clear. No weapons, only flesh and guile. No more than 2 challengers inside the circle at once. I could not leave the ring. If the rules were broken and the lockbox taken, it would be returned. My mentor and his armed associates watched nearby, ready to enforce forfeiture. At first, the challenges used brute force, one by one. I manhandled them all. Blood was spilled. Frustrated, they changed strategy. Teams of 2, I adapted. I cradled the lockbox, shooting it with my body while enduring savage blows. Punches, kicks, and grapples. Yet I didn't yield. I hit back, hard. 2 men quit after an hour. I drove a third off with a solid punch to the chest. The last one, unwilling to risk solo combat, surrendered. I invoked the horn god, embodying the stag, the frenzied boar, the wild bear, and the conquering lion. My mentor acknowledged my victory and arrived with hot food, healing herbs, beer, red wine, likely laced. I slipped into pain-free oblivion, dream-haunted by half-man, half-animal visions. That was yesterday. Today I would earn my sword. That morning, my mentor had brought oatmeal and water. He examined my wounds, and every day he asked if I wanted to end it again. I always answered no. We spoke of my dreams, which I recorded, and after my initiation, that book became my book of shadows. Inside, handwritten by my mentor, were rites and rituals sacred to our Wiccan tradition. He led me from the circle to a clearing, and at the center stood a pyramidal rock pile. A sword jutted from the top. Wrapped in a sash, a group of men blocked my path, some familiar, 3 unknown. The unknown men were massive. Another of my mentor's associates brought him the lockbox from under the tree. Leaning close, my mentor told me he had been supplying the 3 with cocaine and cheap hookers, promising more if they could stop me from earning the sword. He waved the cash before them. They twitched like starving dogs. The offer: more drugs, prettier women, and a cash prize for whoever stopped me, for whoever took me out. My mentor even told them where I was most injured. I was to face each one in one-on-one ritual combat. Rules: no weapons, no eye gouging, no groin shots, no ganging up. My mentor's rifle-touting posse promised strict enforcement. They argued over who would win in a fight first. My mentor pulled me aside and told me to use the chaos to my advantage. I had 2 nights' sleep on them. I knew where they'd aim. This shift in awareness gave me clarity and a plan. Confidence surged. At this moment, my despair ends and tactics begin, I said to my mentor. I'm sorry. Little buzz right now. At this moment, despair ends and tactics begin, said my mentor. I made those words my own. Seeing I understood, my mentor fired a shot into the sky. The largest man rushed towards me. I shaped my hands into bear claws, my arms like stag antlers. I danced with him. I jabbed his face. I baited him. He tried. I shot him low. I took him down, beat him to submission. He tapped out. The second shot. Boom! Next. My mentor barked. The second man was sharper. Hand fighting and distance striking. I played along until I caught my breath. We locked hands. I remembered my schoolyard mercy game victories. I bent his wrist, uprooted his balance, smashed his nose, drove him into the ground, choked him out. His surrender came fast. A third shot. Boom! Next. The last man refused. My mentor leveled his pistol at his head. Fight or bow, and addressed him as king. Tense silence, and the man knelt. King! King, he muttered. Louder! My mentor ordered, stepping in closer, rifles levered. The man, eyes lowered, said, King! Go claim your sword, my mentor said. Deadly serious, I climbed the rocks and pulled the sword freed. A parchment clung to the blade. Behold, the once and future king! I lifted the sword and roared my triumph. My mentor holstered his weapon and informed the three that they'd still get their reward if they left peacefully. They all agreed and they were escorted away. He untied the sash from the sword and tied it around my waist. The earth is your throne. All you see is your kingdom. The only question is, what kind of king will you be? An associate handed him something draped in black. You've claimed the sword, but you're not king until you wear the horned crown. Pulling back the cloth, he revealed a rugged crown adorned with antlers. He placed it upon my head and knelt. I didn't relish it, but he reminded me. True power inspires respect. Never fear. Then came a private rite. To know the sword's mystery, I had to wound and be wounded by it. Both of us nervous. It was painful and sacred exchange, a blood-borne pact signifying consequence and authority. Back at camp, a tent and bed awaited. The sword no longer hung above me. I rested. At nightfall, an associate brought me deer meat, ale, and water. I ate in silence. Later, I performed a sacred rite, aligning my astral body to the North Star, so that I would never be lost again. The North Star, Polaris. Sethicus Boza did an interesting presentation on the Polaris extract that might be of interest to you. The North Star, that's very interesting. That sounds like the Bach Saga. Very similar to the Bach Saga tradition there. Continuing with the article. I was fast asleep when I heard a voice calling my name, haunting, sweet. A beautiful woman from my coven appeared, naked, save for painted symbols and wildflowers in her hair. Possessed by a dryad of black oak, she floated towards me. She carried a silver chalice, set it down, and took my hands. She said she had witnessed everything, seen me defend the coven's livelihood, and claim the horn crown, aroused her. Now we would perform the great rite as god and goddess in the presence of the ancient ones, the fae, and the spirits. She led me to oils and linen cloth, washed my body, drew down the sun. The horned gods surged through me. We enacted the great rite again and again. We fucked a lot. My sea was collected in the chalice. As dawn broke, we added my blood and offered it all as a holy Eucharist. As sunlight grew, her trance faded. The dryad departed. I carried her to bed, the wild beauty still clinging to her. I wept from exhaustion, joy, and pain. My mentor placed a hand on my shoulder. He led me beneath the black oak. There he proclaimed me a hidden child of the Fae, a once and future king. He declared me a high priest of Wicca and hung a talisman around my neck, braided in red, green, white, and gold. You have shed the 4 great substances of man, he said, blood, sweat, semen, and tears, the price of admission into the mysteries of hoof, horn, vine, and grain. Together we walked beyond the circle of stones into a circle of stars, deeper into the woods, further into the ancient mysteries. Coven Wiccan, 3rd degree Wiccan High Priest. Thank you for visiting my page. I am the only medium remote viewer and occultist who, with frightening and stunning accuracy, foresaw the COVID-19 pandemic hoax and its sinister connections to China, masks, weaponized experimental needlecraft, mandatory compliance, medical tracking on smartphones, and the debacle of the 2020 election with the border crisis, illegal immigrant and CCP invasion, the specter of World War III, the looming magnetic pole reversal, global cataclysm. I predicted it all. VAIDS, needlecraft-acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and even Dr. Fauci himself. All my insights as early as 2014. Don't believe it? See the complete time-stamped evidence here. Additionally, I accurately predicted both President Trump's assassination attempts and that Joe Biden would not run again for the 2024 re-election in this Merry Crisis and a Happy New Fear post on 1/1/24 here. And that's not all. My occult and remote influence work played a pivotal role in the downfall of Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire pedophile and human trafficker. This is too time-stamped and documented. Witness a true, authentic act of Solomonic conjuration from the lesser key of the Ars Goetia here. Please visit my official site here. All right, folks, that's just all I have for you. Man, all copyrights goes to Kevin fucking Machete, a.k.a. Papa Machete, a.k.a. Papa Croc, a.k.a. Uncle Bearheart, if you still remember him from back in 2009, 2010. Same crazy motherfucker. I love that post. I would love to experience something similar. I would love to go through a similar ordeal, man. Trial by fire. I'm a little lacking in my strength training. I'm a little lacking in hand-to-hand combat. I need a lot of work. I don't think I'd do that. I think I'd get wrecked if I do it right now. I need to work. I need to work on a lot of things. But that was fucking inspiring. That's what true paganism is. True paganism in Wicca. So just like that, like Kevin's lineage of Wicca, the Bach saga, there, the Bach saga lineage, there, the true pagan cults, the true shamanic and animist traditions are still out there. Okay, if you want to get rid of Temple of Blood, you want to get rid of Latin Kings and MS-13 and all these just toxic fucking cartels and this toxic shit, you got to bring back the authentic Ulfanar Berserker class. You got to bring back the Navajo Skinwalkers. You got to bring back machetes from a particular Wicca, which we just read about in the past half hour. We got to bring back the Bach saga. We got to bring back the original European bloodline animism and shamanism traditions. With that being said, crazy strong, signing the fuck out. Hails. Hails, y'all.